It's not that I don't know what it is, but it's like, it's such a vague way of saying like, love yourself. Just love yourself. It's
But
like,
how?
yeah, like, yeah, exactly.
How can
but
how
It's
do I
like,
do that?
I've done so many messed up shit. Okay, talking self-love. Actually, what does self-love mean to you? When somebody says self-love, what are the things that comes to your mind?
Well, obviously, I know it's so cheesy to say, but like loving yourself, like, but that's hard to do.
Yeah.
Loving yourself is so hard to do. You know, you're born, you don't know who you are, what you're gonna do.
Do you think it's hard to do, or it's because we haven't been taught how to do?
We haven't been taught and given a manual on how to love yourself. We're kind of just like, okay, figure it out as you go, and some people actually never even end up loving themselves, or they don't end up working on themselves, and then they realize like, oh, I've been repeating the same patterns over and over, and whatever it is in life, maybe relationships, maybe work ethic, whatever it is, they're repeating the same old patterns. Is to me like, it's because they're not self-loving themselves. I don't know, in my opinion, like that's a big one. Self-realization, you know, when you realize you did something wrong, hold accountability for it, and next time try not to do what you did. I don't know, that's like, I'm always like on the guard
when it comes to self-love.
Yeah, I'm always like, okay, if I did this to someone, I don't want to do that again to them. If I apologize, I don't want to repeat that pattern, because that goes to show like I'm ignorant, and I don't want to be ignorant. So if I don't want to be ignorant to that, I have to work on that for me to not be ignorant anymore. I'm like, it's a fact, right? And that's a form of self-love.
Yeah,
you're working on yourself.
I think I see like self-love as I don't know. It's not that I don't know what it is, but it's like, it's such a vague way of saying like, love yourself. Just love yourself. It's
but
like,
how?
Yeah, like, yeah, exactly.
How can how do I do that?
I've done so many messed up shit. At the same time, it's like I make mistakes, and sometimes I make mistakes that I know I should have not made, but I made them anyway. And then you're like, okay, well, I knew that I should have not done that, but I've already did it anyway. So it's like, how can I love that part about myself if I keep repeating the same thing? You know, just like how you said, like, it's figuring out what you shouldn't do and then you wouldn't do. But at the same time, it's like, well, how can you love that part of yourself that makes mistake, that maybe it's not nice to people sometimes, you know?
Yeah. I don't know, like, for me, when I do something like that, it makes me feel so bad about myself. And it's to the point where I beat myself up.
Me too.
Like, you did this, you're the worst person ever. No one's gonna love you. No one's gonna, like, you have no way out after that. I don't know if that's my anxiety talking, but in a way, like, if it is my anxiety talking, it's also great, because now I know that it pushed me to that limit of me feeling that way. Now, how can I work on it? I don't know, I feel like if you realize yourself, you have to realize yourself first.
Being self-aware enough.
You have to be self-aware. When you're self-aware about it, then you can take the action to improve. But if you're not self-aware, you're going to keep repeating it, like the same thing over and over again.
I think self-love should come with self-awareness.
Yeah.
What I've noticed with a lot of people, this is crazy. So sometimes there's certain things that I realize about myself, and then I tell my boyfriend about it, or I tell my best friend about it, and they're like, how did you even come to that conclusion? Like, how did you think of that? I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I've just always, you know, I've maybe not always, but like, I think I grew to this part of me that is self-aware.
100%.
Like, I remember, because I've had some life coaches in the past that I worked with, especially when I had my business. I felt like it was necessary for me to level up in some ways. Like, I didn't think just focusing on the career and the business side of the things would have helped me grow to the person that I am. So I wanted to always work on myself individually as well. So I did have some life coaches in the past. And I remember one thing that she always would tell me is like, you're very self-aware. And that's such a good thing. And that's something that a lot of people lack. I don't know, guys. I don't know how I am self-aware. I have no idea. But it's like, there's certain things that I notice about myself.
I think I know why you're self-aware.
Why?
You're mature.
Maybe it's because
a lot of people see, to me, age is just a number. You can be 21 years old and be more mature than an 80-year-old. I don't know how spiritual you are, but you might have an old soul too. I'm very spiritual in that sense. I do believe
people
in that.
always tell me you're such an old soul, actually.
And that's why you're self-aware, you know, and you're mature.
And maybe that's why.
You're mature.
Because it's crazy, because there's so many things to me that is just like so common sense. I'm like, well, everybody would know this.
Yeah.
And then my boyfriend's like, no. Or like my best friend's like, no. Like, you think that's the way. But I think a lot of self-love comes with being self-aware, because if you're not aware of the fact that you are self-sabotaging, if you're not aware of the fact that you don't have a good self-image, if you're not aware of the fact that you have certain bad traits or bad habits or bad patterns that you keep repeating in your life and you don't improve it, how would you love yourself? But then at the same time, then you hear people saying like, you gotta love yourself with all of your flaws. You gotta love yourself with all of the imperfections. But it's like, to me, that hasn't still registered, because it's like, I know I have imperfections. One example, actually. Stretch marks, okay?
I got them.
Okay, I got them too. But I never had them before. And it's crazy because once I started getting them, because I went through this whole huge weight fluctuations, and I started getting them. I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, this is so weird. I don't like this. And I remember I cried, okay, over a stretch mark, guys, because my skin, my body, all these things has been always, I cared so much about my hair, all these things. And all of the things that has to do with appearance, of course.
No, sorry to interrupt,
No,
but now this is what I'm going to say. Can I swear?
Just say whatever.
You have to not give a about yourself and how you look. Sorry, in that sense, I mean, like, you have to not care. You have to have a vibe. Like, sorry to say it, but it's the truth. Like, this is how I am.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
It is what it is.
This is how I am. And this is what I am.
Yeah.
And who cares? Like, there's worse things out there.
I agree. And that's actually what I eventually got to. But in the beginning, for me, it was like, I'm not familiar with, I don't like this. I've never had this before. I don't want to deal with this. Yes. I'm young. Like, well, I'm not even married yet. I don't even have kids yet. And I have to deal with stretch marks.
I don't have kids yet and I have stretch marks.
Right? Right? So it's like, but it took me months, right? Months later, I started looking at myself in the mirror, and I started, there's just this voice, right? Maybe it's my intuition. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my higher self. You can call it different things, right?
Yeah.
But it was this voice saying that your stretch marks are a sign of the battles you have fought in life.
Oh, I love that.
And it's like, so the way I look at it now.
I love that.
Thank you. So the way I look at it now, it's like, whenever I look at it, I look at myself and I'm proud of you. Because you didn't go through easy shit. Because you didn't give up on yourself. You didn't give up on your health. You didn't give up on your body. Even though every freaking thing you did didn't work out. Because there was a time where I would work out and I was gaining weight. I would have the perfect freaking diet, okay? I'm sure some of you guys are not even on a diet and you have a freaking good body, right? But I was literally eating the healthiest thing. I wasn't eating fast food. I removed coffee from my diet. I removed sugar from my diet. I did a lot of things, right? But it wasn't working at that time, and that was because my body was under so much stress, right?
Yes.
Isn't that crazy what your stress does to your body as well? But when I passed that, when I started, I kept going. I'm like, it's okay, I'm going to figure it out. So then I realized, okay, well, it's my stress. So I started working on my stress, and I started working on other aspects of my life. Then I got back into working out again. And now I look at it as this is a reminder that I didn't give up on myself. Mm-hmm. This is a reminder that even though I went through the changes and my body stretched enough for those changes, I still found again, refound myself. Yeah, found myself again. For me to, you know what I mean?
I just got goosebumps. You found yourself through those scars.
Yeah.
That to me is beautiful.
Thank you.
It's so beautiful. I think
it was such a realization for me. It was like, oh, well, I don't have to look at them as they're an ugly thing.
Yeah, it depends on how you see it.
Exactly. It's all about perspective. It's all about perspective.
You can say, oh my God, I'm ugly because I have this. Or you can say, oh my God, I have this. It's so beautiful because God gave it to me. Or whatever you believe in gave it to me,
And so maybe that's what they mean when they say loving yourself with all the imperfections. Because it's but it takes self-awareness. That's what I'm trying to say. It takes realization. It takes you thinking through these things.
Yes.
But I guess that self-love aspect of us has become foggy because of all the things that we see around us, all the other perfection.
It's
things,
also
perfect things that we see.
It's also what we see on social media, on advertisements, in movies, TV shows, whatever it is, pictures.
They make everybody look perfect.
They make everybody look perfect, not one flaw. And humans like to mimic other humans. Mm-hmm. So, of course they want to try to fit in and be like that person, but you're not that person. You're yourself. That's why you're a human being. You're different. You're meant to be different. You're meant to be unique. And that's beautiful in itself. God created you for that reason.
That's why I love these posts that some of the girls or influencers post. And I have so much respect for those type of girls. They post a photo of themselves, me before eating, me after eating, and then before eating is flat stomach and,
Sasha
sexy.
Barbosa?
Yeah. She does it. But
Yes.
But yeah, so like she does it, and I came across other influencers that also like post similar things to this, like, oh, like me posing, me not posing, me tugging in my stomach, me not tugging in my stomach. And then it goes to show that a lot of the things that you see online and you see those perfect pictures of the girls, it's not like they don't get bloated. It's not like they don't got no belly fat. It's not like, it's none of those things. Sometimes it could be literally just the way they're posing. So you may take some unflattering photos of yourself and then compare it to a professional photo somebody has taken or somebody has taken of them, and you'd be like, oh my god, I look so ugly. But it's not that you're ugly, but those things affects you though.
It does.
And then you see these girls
because
and you see those things
because you're trying to compare yourself to those other pictures of women and stuff, and that's where the issue is. It's like when you start comparing, that's when depression starts kicking in. That's when anxiety starts kicking in. That's when eating disorders, that's when all these other mental health, I think, disorders come from, is comparing yourself to people.
And this goes to show that we're not perfect people. Like, you see me showing up on Instagram, on YouTube or whatever, and a lot of people are like, oh, you're so confident, you're always like, you have this like image of yourself. But it's like, yeah, but I'm not perfect either. Like, it doesn't, just because I show up on the camera, it doesn't mean I don't have insecurities. It doesn't mean I don't have battles that I'm fighting. It doesn't mean that I'm the most confident person in this world. It just means that I'm learning how to work through it.
Exactly. And like, we do think about it, like right now we're filming, I'm literally in my head, I'm like, do I look good, but obviously that's the human brain. The human brain is trained to be more negative than it is positive. That's why most of the people are negative. It's your choice. You want to listen to your doubt and like think, oh, like I look bad, this and that, or do you want to just not give a like I said before and just do it anyway? Like,
absolutely. And
yeah,
you know what, I think self-love goes a lot with, or maybe I've came across this online. Do you know Tom Billio? I hope I'm saying his last name right.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, Impact Theory.
Yes,
he posts those YouTube videos called Impact Theory. So I think he posted something about self-love, or his wife, I don't remember, but I remember seeing something from them talking about self-love and talking about how sometimes self-love and confidence and self-esteem and a lot of these things, it actually goes back to also respecting yourself, also doing hard shit. So for example, if I'm having a shitty day but I still show up to the gym and I'm putting in that work,
you're respecting yourself.
I'm respecting myself, but it's also an act of self-love because I care enough about myself to show up still, no matter what goes on in my day. And that gives me a little bit of self-love. So I think self-love goes with a lot of actions.
Yes. Self-love is like a big spectrum.
Yeah.
And then all these little things add up to that.
Yeah. It's not like you wake up one day and like, oh my god, I love myself. I feel like a lot of people that's when it happens.
It can like I feel like you can see, we start to believe ourselves when we repeat it over and over again. If we say it once, we're not going to believe it. We're going to be like, why are we talking to the mirror? We're crazy. But then if we start saying it over and over, like every morning, like, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, over and over for like 30 days, your brain statistically, like scientific has like proven. You, after 30 days, I believe 30 or 90 days, you start actually feeling that. So it's just a matter of habit. Oh yeah. To me, everything is habit.
Yeah. Habits, actions.
Create habits,
actions.
And you become that.
Yeah.
Very simple. But the problem is humans, we don't want, it's not that we do want, but we're not willing to put in the action and the habits to get there because, sorry to say, we're lazy.
Yeah.
We're lazy,
it's like,
or
I got nothing to say. Yeah. We can be lazy.
Yeah.
We really can.
Because, like, to me, there's no excuse. Like,
but it's also like, I don't want to like blame the society for it, but at the same time, I feel like it's also because things have become so easy.
Yeah.
Like before, if you wanted to go do grocery shopping, you had to get your little cart from home, and then walk towards the grocery, and then come home. Now you sit in the car and you go there. It's like, it's easy. You're not even using your legs.
Or you can go Instacart.
Yeah.
Just order it online.
Oh
and
my
it comes
god,
to your door.
like to your home. So I think the society is actually like definitely prone to like make us, lazy, but it's you fighting it back. It's you taking those little actions for you to not end up that way, if that makes sense.
I feel like they wanted to make us more lazy on purpose so they can profit off more money. They're very smart because they know how the human function works.
So remember, our mind likes comfort.
Yeah.
Right? That's and whatever they create is to give us more comfort, for us to use less of our brain.
Yeah.
Like, keep that in mind.
That's what they want to do.
What would you say you struggle with when it comes to self-love? What do you struggle with the most to love yourself?
Maybe sometimes accept.
Like, I put her on the spot. I'm gonna say it too, but I want to hear you first.
It depends. Like, what do you mean exactly by, like, what is my biggest struggle? Because I have a lot. When you try to love yourself, when you try to love yourself, you're like, okay, well, I decided to love myself. What are certain things about yourself that you find unloving? Staying consistent to go to the gym. Okay, that one is hard for me. And it's not because, like, I need to lose weight. I don't need to lose weight. It's because just for my mental health and, like, my gut condition and, like, just toning up my body is just amazing anyway. But for me to consistently go to the gym, it's hard for me. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm too lazy to get out of bed in the morning and I don't want to go to the gym. That's one of the things that I don't like. And then another thing is sometimes I'm too nice. Mm-hmm. And people take advantage of me. That's something I'm working on. Like, now I'm learning how to say no more often.
So the first one you said, again, comes because of lack of action.
Yes.
Just like how it was talking. So you see how it correlates, right?
To the gym, yeah.
The second one that you're talking about, do you think you should change that about yourself? Meaning maybe you shouldn't be nice anymore.
I will still be nice, but I'm not going to be to the point where I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do anything for you. Oh yeah, like I'm too nice to sometimes to the point where like I'll drive people back and forth without them paying for my gas every time. Now I'm actually putting a barrier that's like, okay, now you have to pay for my gas. So now I'm being, what's it called? Self-aware of that like of that type of situation. And now I'm like improving in it. Why? Because I was self-aware. That's what it comes down to. Yeah. If you're self-aware,
sometimes you realize it early on, sometimes you realize it later. Exactly. But you always come to conclusion, I feel.
Exactly. Yeah. So those are just like a couple of things.
I actually like the fact that you said no, I would still be nice. And the reason why I said that is because I've seen certain times people change because of that. You know, and this happened actually to me because one time I got heartbroken. And I was like in my first year of university, and this was the first time I feel like, do I want to talk about this? I'm like, do I want to talk about this? But I feel like this was the first time I actually really felt not rejected, but somehow like not accepted when it comes to a guy. And I decided to go cold. Like, I wanted to kill my emotions. Like, I don't know. I'm a very emotional person.
So am I.
And I care a lot. And I'm such an empath. Like, I literally feel
that's a whole pain. Okay, we're gonna do another video on empathy.
Yeah, we should. So it's like I wanted to go cold and I wanted to change myself because I'm like, why would I want to be nice? Like, why would I do this and then allow people to take advantage of me like that, or allow people to hurt me like that? So I wanted to have my guard up, and I did that for like a couple of months. I really went like cold and very like neutral about everything. Like, you couldn't really make me laugh. You couldn't really make me cry.
Were you trying to numb yourself?
Yeah. I was, and I did. And it took like a month, 2 months at least for me to come to a realization.
That's not how I want to live.
Excuse my language, but that. Like, why would I allow somebody else change me, change who I am?
Because that's not who you are.
Just because they weren't able to appreciate who I am.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if somebody doesn't know my value, if somebody doesn't know how to appreciate that aspect of me, or the fact that I care, the fact that I'm nice, the fact that I'm loving, all those things, why would I change that? Because somebody else might actually...
You know what you say? Thank you, next.
Exactly. Thank you,
Thank you, next.
Ariana-san, you know, thank you, next. That's why the reason why I brought it up is like, I want to tell you to if there's certain things about yourself that you don't like and you find unloving, uncover the fact that, okay, do I want to change this just because it's not accepted by other people? Yeah. Or do I want to change it because it's not serving me? Do you understand what I mean? You know, you spoke about being nice. I had to realize this a year ago, 2 years ago, that being nice and becoming a doormat for everybody to walk all over you is two different things. And I realized I'd rather be kind, not nice.
You know, I don't know if it came from an influence I had back in the day. I was like hanging out with a group of girls in high school that were not very nice to me. Like, they were kind of bullies in a way, and they were trying so hard to fit in. You know, high school, you try so hard to fit in with the cool girls or the nerdy girls, whoever it is. For me, I was just myself, and that's why I was I wasn't necessarily alone most of the time, but like, it was a group we would hang out with. They were all trying to fit in, but I would never fit in. and they would make fun of me for that because I would not fit in. I don't want to fit in. And I know I wasn't trying to fit in because I had good influences in my life at the time as well. Like a friend that didn't go to high school with me, but she did influence me, you know, just always be yourself. Always, even if you have to eat alone, I'd rather eat alone than be with like
A group
fake
of people I don't fit in.
Yeah, like I'm sorry to say, I there's a lot of fake people out there, and to me it's sad because they're like covering up something they're really not, and it's okay to.
And I can't be with pretenders at all.
Oh my god,
I can't stand it.
I'm allergic to
because even when I try to like pretend, I'm like, oh my god, this just doesn't feel right. And I think it goes back again to self-love, because if you love yourself, you accept yourself as well.
100%.
Yes, you have imperfections, yes, you have flaws, but at the same time, if you accept that, it makes it a lot easier for you to work through it. I feel like when you don't accept it and when you hate it, there's a resistance.
And I don't know if you guys are spiritual, whoever's watching this, but I do think that spirituality, if you're not spiritual but you're open to it, check it out, because that... Sorry. I don't know why I said sorry to you. Sorry. We're empaths, so we met.
You can tell.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Sorry, that was funny. Because we were just talking about empaths.
Yeah.
No, but I was saying, like, if you're open to being, you know, learning more about yourself and stuff, I would definitely open to spirituality and just opening up yourself to the universe. The universe will literally put the right people in your life. That's why, I don't know, maybe I was born with it. Maybe it's an old soul we have. Maybe it's our guardian angels, like, guiding us the right way. I've always known I had to be myself. It was like imprinted in my forehead. Just be yourself. The right people will stay.
Yeah, the right people will stick around.
Like, they will not leave. Why would they leave? If they love you, that's who you are. If they love you, why would they leave? Very simple.
Now, this goes to say, if you have actually bad toxic traits about yourself, and you feel like, okay, people should accept me as who I am. No, that's not what we mean.
Exactly.
Obviously, we're talking about positive aspects of you. Like, if you're a nice person, if you're this, if you're that.
Yes.
But if you have, like, let's say, if you're judgy, if you gossip a lot, if you're dramatic, if you're, I don't know, you're always, like, talking about negative stuff. Like, well, obviously, no, those are the parts that you need to work through.
And if you're aware that you have that stuff, but you're choosing not to, then at the end of the day, that, like, you know, I'm a very honest person. That is your issue, right? Yeah. And, you know, you need to work on that if you want people to stay in your life and you want to attract the good people. You need to work on that. That's what it all comes down to, is self-awareness. If you're self-aware that you have these toxic traits, you can always improve. It's never good or bad.
So really the conclusion of this video at the end is self-love, self-acceptance, self-awareness, self-confidence.
Yes.
Or self-esteem.
Actions.
Like
insecure. Well, we talk about, like, finding your
insecurities. Yeah. So it's like everything ties up with each other. Like, I don't think you can love yourself if you are not confident about certain things about yourself. I don't think you can love yourself if you're not self-aware enough. I don't think you can love yourself if you don't accept yourself. I don't think you can love yourself if you're not willing to take the actions to make yourself feel better, to do better for yourself, to take good care of yourself. And everything goes together.
Yeah. And if you're really trying to learn, how can I be more self-aware? If you're asking yourself this question, how can I love myself more? Or how can I develop these habits? You know, you can always reach out to someone that is already in a position that you want to be in. Reach out to them. There's no wrong in reaching out. Like, I remember when I was in a really dark place, I reached out to a therapist. I was in a really I reached out to a therapist because I know, like, okay, you know, we're in 2023, almost 2024. We have to, like, remove that stigma of, oh, if you go to a therapist, you're crazy, when you're not.
And I'm so happy because now there's a lot of people talking about how, you know, my therapist told me this, like, when you watch videos online, or this is what I learned from my therapy session. And, like, people are actually being out loud about it.
Become more self-aware about yourself. It helps you make you happier. Therefore,
people are proud of it.
Happier person, happier life. You can't blame your life is bad. It comes from you, right?
Yeah. I know. I know there's a lot of stigma around it. I absolutely agree about it. But I feel like it's disappearing over time now. I feel like it's such a more common thing to hear that I was with my therapy, I had my therapy session, or I was with my therapist. compared to before.
I was put on anxiety medication, and you know, it's fine. Like, you know, it's good to talk about this because see, now people, the more you hear about this, the less they feel alone.
Yeah, more people can relate to you,
Yeah.
and they don't feel like they're alone.
And that
I
makes
feel
them
like
want
that's
to do it.
sometimes what it takes for you to make somebody
It's just
else also
opening
feel
up.
better. Yeah, because it's like you taking that initiative to talk about it.
Because they feel
Because
alone.
some people, because some people are not maybe brave enough yet to talk
Exactly,
about it.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
And then it just takes that one person to break the ice and be like, listen, I went to therapy. Oh, really? Okay, I'm going to go too.
Right?
That's all it takes.
Right?
You
That's
know?
all it takes. But Megan, I really appreciate you doing this with me because this is going to be the beginning of a lot of, you know, other videos to come.
Yes.
With a lot of powerful women. And I was telling this to Megan the other day, the whole purpose behind what I'm trying to build with this or these type of videos is really just to spotlight more simple, ordinary people. Like, obviously, I'm not saying she's an ordinary person. I think she's an extraordinary person because she has such a love for humanity. You guys should definitely look her stuff up on Instagram, on YouTube, all the stuff that she posts. Like, I love it. I'm always a fan. But it's like, I appreciate you doing this with me because I want to show other people that they don't have to be extraordinary or different or special for them to build the life they want.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like it all starts from here. Like
Mhm.
simple, ordinary people becoming that extraordinary version of themselves. Like that's my message. And I appreciate you for doing this with me because I want to do more of this. I want to do this with more women.
We're going to do it.
We're going to do it.
I'm
We're gonna
excited
do it.
for that.
Yeah, we're going to do it because it's like, I told my idea to this other lady about it as well. And she's like, this is so good because I feel like so many women need to hear this. You know, I feel like more women should do stuff like this. Like more women should be able to get exposed to this.
Women
type
are
of things.
taking over.
We sure
That's
are.
it.
We sure are. Is there a message or a tip or anything that you would want to tell the audience or tell our fans before we end the video?
The only thing I can literally say for you watching, if you are open-minded to improving yourself, just take small steps day by day, you know. Google some things, you know, reach out to someone like I was talking to you about. Just take small steps every day leads to big actions in the future. That's what I can tell you, you know. If you really want to improve yourself and love yourself more, you need to take action. That's the only thing I can say, honestly.
Yeah, you can't just sit in one place and expect the world to change.
Because no one's going to do it for you but yourself.
Absolutely.
People can tell you what to do, but you're not going to listen to them.
Yeah. Basically, if you don't listen to them, like, you're not going to get anywhere. It's like, there's no point.
So, that's my message.
That's
right. I don't even know if it was a message, but it was.
It was kind of like a tip, which is good.
Message,
which
tip,
is good.
tip, message, whatever.
Okay. But again, I'm happy we did this. For anyone who's new on this channel, welcome to my channel. I'm Dee. If you don't know by now, I make videos that are committed to help women become the director of their own lives. And if that sounds like you, make sure to subscribe. Make sure you comment below if you took away anything from this video that you found the most valuable. Make sure you comment below and you let us know.
Please do it.
Please do it.
Now.
But that's it. That's it from us. Until later. I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Tell me I'm the only one that you love. Life could be a dream, sweetheart.